Good evening. The Birmingham bin strike has entered its 7th week. Today, the City Council said the dispute is costing it £40,000 a day, which could have an impact on other council services. Plans have now been put in place to ensure residents get a collection at least once every 3 weeks, until an agreement with unions can be reached. Well, we'll hear from the council in a moment. But businesses and homeowners say they're becoming increasingly frustrated about piles of rubbish still on the streets and the increase in vermin and other pests. Lindsay Dorr reports.
6 long weeks and now the start of the 7th. The Birmingham bin strike is no nearer to a resolution. It's a row over what the City Council says a need for modernisation, a switch from a 4 to 5 day week, changes which will save the cash-strapped authority millions of pounds. The union Unite claim the changes will mean many of its members stand to lose more than £3,000 a year. As it escalates, one refuse worker, speaking to us anonymously, said they've no choice but to make a stand.
We don't want to be on strike, but the problem being is now we have to have the resolve and the solidarity to stick together and just last it out until whenever.
The strike began with 2-hour stoppages. This increased to 3. Now set times throughout the day have been introduced. As rubbish is piled high, queues at the city's dumps get longer.
I think there should be some sort of measures in place to really sort this out, because the place is looking at tip.
Got to do what they've got to do, haven't they? You know, they've got to stand up for themselves.
A new City Council plan to shift to the increasing rubbish will see every ward visited by waste collectors on a 3-weekly basis. But for the residents of Birmingham, the end of the summer of discontent can't come soon enough. Lindsay Doyle, BBC Midlands Today, Birmingham.
Well, a few hours ago, I met with Councillor Lisa Trickett, who's in charge of bin collections for Birmingham City Council. In a street in Yardley, which was being cleared today, I began by asking her how talks were going.
We will look for a resolution this week. We have opened the door and said join us at discussions at ACAS. We have agreement on some key areas. It is a case of the union coming and joining us and actually finding a way forward.
We're on day 46 of the strike. The unions say they're prepared to strike till Christmas.
That is really not something that we could countenance as a local authority. We have to actually get this bin service back. It's not just the bin service that's suffering. Other public services are put at risk by the cost of this strike action.
There are still people who are thoroughly fed up with having rubbish piling up on their streets. You say that you're now going to employ a 3-week cycle for clearing up this rubbish, but how are you going to do that? You're going to have to bring in agency staff, aren't you?
We have a range of contracts that are coming into play to actually deal with specific concerns. So one for us very much is tower blocks. So we have brought a contractor in for that. We have a contractor who's coming in to do an evening collection. We do have a number of agency staff, and clearly there is one union that is currently taking industrial action. So we have to look at actually ensuring and encouraging that those who aren't in dispute with us are actually completing a full working day.
What's the cost associated with bringing in agency staff?
There is a cost with agency staff, there is a cost with contractors, but the basic daily cost of this strike is £40,000.
Will the residents of Birmingham be getting a rebate?
The service costs 92 pence a week. That has been the weekly loss in terms of the benefits that the people of Birmingham would accrue. What I can't say is of that 92 pence, how much is paid for by council tax, how much is actually paid for by the sort of local government settlement grant. I am advised by officers that I would not be able to make a refund against the council tax because there is not a direct correlation between council tax paid and service offered.
A couple of emails from viewers, one of them saying that the council came and removed bags at the side of the road. They didn't collect anything from the wheelie bins.
I have actually spent quite a bit of time going around the city and looking at roads. What is quite obvious is individual houses have been missed off, that there are parts of roads that haven't been quite cleared. And that again is something that we're talking to officers, talking to the crews about. We need to learn from where roads have been missed. We are hearing and analysing what people have said in terms of streets and houses have been missed. But again, you know, send it in to us and I will endeavour to ensure that whoever that resident is, we pick up their rubbish this week.
How would you sum up the situation right now?
Challenging.
And that was Councillor Lisa Trickett talking to me a little earlier today. Well, in the last hour, Unite, the union, have told us that they are happy to consider all meaningful routes to solving this dispute, but that, in the union's view, the best way to achieve this is for direct discussions between the two parties concerned, that is ourselves and the leader of the council. To other news now, and farmers are counting the cost of an increase in crime. There's been a 20% rise in rural crime